Well, hey, folks, it is a cold Tuesday, and it ain't no joke. That wind is blowing straight out of the northwest. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. From 70 degrees on Sunday to 29 today. I was busy yesterday. The warehouses are not heated or air conditioned down here. Such big buildings, they'd never be able to afford that. And I was working hard yesterday. I didn't feel the cold in the building at all. What is with the young generation today that they just feel like if I don't want to go to work, I ain't going to go? What's up with all that? I mean, I'm Gen X. Well, hello, Hugh, and welcome from the UK. Why is it that people today, if they don't want to go to work, they just don't go? They play fast and loose with their job. I'm happy to have a job. As y'all know, I was let go of my job for taking a stand on my private time, and it really bothered me. But you know what? Nothing feels good. Nothing feels good like having a job and knowing you have a paycheck coming in. I could never live off the system. I could never live in Section 8 in the neighborhoods with the stuff that goes on in there. I thank God that He has enabled me to work, and I thank God that He's given me the wherewithal to put a fire under my butt and do something. And people ask me all the time, how do you make it? I said, because God. Just simply applying yourself to go to work every day, even if you're tired. You know, work is work. There's a reward that comes with it. There's a conscience that says, I worked an honest day's work. You go to sleep at night and you fall asleep, and God meets your needs, and He can take your little and make it a lot. Yeah, they do that here too, Hugh. Well, hello, Mabel, and welcome from down under. We got a few people that come in from Aussie and UK. That's awesome. I respect that. And I love the British and Aussie accent. It's very, very awesome. Hugh, we have people doing that too. We got people that I know younger than me that they went from school straight to disability. I said, man, there's nothing wrong with you. Well, I have some mental. I said, you know what? You have mental because you want to be mental, man. And I see this. A slender, attractive woman comes out of high school, and now she's big, and she's on the system, going nowhere, not improving. That's right. Well, hey, Colette, that's right. We got new Colette from New Zealand. I forgot to mention that. I like it. I know we're the USA, but Aussie, Zealand, UK, y'all my brothers and sisters. Technically, we're all offshoots of the UK, really. I know I have some Brit in me, and I definitely know I have Irish. We need to stick together because it's really becoming hostile to us. You notice that, men and women? You notice the world, the liberal news is against us evil Caucasians. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Exalting people coming from other countries with bad behavior, bad manners, and no sense of ethic while downing us. We're going to work. We're paying the taxes to support this foolishness. It's insane. Oh yeah, Hugh, some people seem to get away with stuff for a long time, but come up, it will come. It will come. I would love to see Australia, New Zealand. I have a friend, Maurice, in the UK. I sent him a Thomas Dolby song, one that you'd never heard on the radio. It's called Oceania. It's a beautiful piece of music. And Thomas Dolby sings about a place he lived called Oceania, which is where the salt marshes are. And I'm in Georgia, and I would love to see him, but go to London, no desire. I see what's happening to Londonistan, and you know, I'm old school. The double decker buses, what made Britain Britain, a Big Ben, and the old buildings, and the very very distinctly UK is being dominated by every other race. It's going like this to the rest of us. It's disgusting. Hello, Gayagwad. That's an interesting name. It's 4:38 and it's somewhere around 30 to 29 degrees. It got cold last night for here. Jamie, that's sad. Scotland. Oh my gosh, Scotland. I've always wanted to see the Highlands. I've always wanted to see the Highlands. And I think it'd be awesome to see it. It's almost like Caucasian people are hell-bent on destroying their own culture and committing nationalistic suicide. There's nothing wrong with flying the Union Jack. There's nothing wrong in swelling with pride and getting choked up on your national anthem. There's nothing wrong with enjoying your culture. Look at the culture they're bringing in. What's there to be excited about? Vandalism, riots, molesting kids. I heard about that in Ireland. It's ridiculous. It's almost like there's a concerted direct effort to punish us. And what bothers me is, yeah, Caucasians have their flaws and mistakes, but we also brought good things into the world. Just the fact you're watching me on a phone, that wasn't invented by the refugees and the troublemakers. There's a YouTube video. I was on my lunch break and I didn't have time to watch it yesterday at work, but it talked about the contributions to medical science and to the good of society that Islam made, and it was absolutely zero. And I said a video just a couple days prior that said Islam has contributed nothing good to the world, ever. And people get all mad, Mike, you shouldn't bash a religion. I will bash a religion, especially if it's false, especially if it's violent, especially if it's highly destructive, and they're going to make everybody convert by the sword. Jesus promoted love. Islam doesn't. There's nothing loving, peaceful, nice, beneficial about Islam. And they come into these countries and bombs and things start happening and things blow up and burn down. I thought it was poetic justice when a mosque was blown to bits in Jakarta. It's like, well, you know what, guys? You dish it out, and now you're all blowing up each other. Stupid. Let's see the fit. What do you mean the fit? Jamie, that's too bad. That's too bad. Now, Colette, that'd be fun. We could try on clothes together. That'd be provocative. I love this. It's very comfortable. Hey, Scottish can wear kilts. I can wear this. Mr. E-Rock, it's colder than a witch's nipple in a brass broad out here. I'm telling you. I didn't even put the trash out last night. I'll have to do it before I go to work. The wind was blowing so hard, and I've got the can full, but I thought I don't need it tipping it over and everything all over the place. I raked last Saturday, and all the pine needles, pine cones, magnolia leaves from all the neighbors are all in my front yard. It's blitzed. I came home yesterday. I thought, oh my gosh, it's a fact. When Michael rakes, weather's coming. When Michael rakes every tree, as soon as I put the can and the rake away, the trees will do their little dance and the leaves are everywhere. Colette, are you serious? I would look terrible in a grocery bag. Wind is making it worse than it is. Yeah, it was 23 on the wind chill yesterday. I'm like, wind chill in Georgia, now that's a trip. Mr. E-Rock, welcome as always. Yeah, one guy didn't show up yesterday, and I asked my super, I said, hey, what's, he goes, oh, when it gets cold, they do this. Well, you know what? When it gets cold, then maybe firing should be in order. I'm sorry. I don't have any sympathy. When I lived in northern Minnesota and rode the DTA, the city bus, all the way up Calvary Road, got off at the Arnold Road where the old terminal used to be, and walked over a mile at 25 below with the wind swirling snow. And there was a guy I worked with. He'd drive right past me. He was not cool. And a lady would stop, Cheryl. She goes, I noticed George just drives right by you. I said, he's an idiot. She goes, I can't believe that. He's going that way. And I said, no, he's an idiot. And I said, that's okay. He's not as tough as Michael is. And I was excited to drive a bus. I was excited. I wanted to drive a bus. Man, I'd get to work. People come, and I'd go out and scrape the ice off the windshield, do my pre-trip inspection, get the bus warmed up. And people would laugh. Mike, how come you don't have a jacket on? I'd have my poncho, a sweater, t-shirt. I'd be layered. I'm good. Why y'all complaining? I'm not. And one of the supervisors said, Mike comes from Arizona, and he dressed like that, and he's happy. And we all here, and we all whining about it, dressed like polar bears. That kind of says something, doesn't it? And one day, Rudy, the dispatcher, said, Mike, when are you going to break down and buy a car? I said, well, how many of your employees called in because their car wouldn't start when it's 35 below? He says, I'll shut up. I said, thank you, Rudy. Have a good day. I said, the city bus never fails to start. And then they bought the county garage, which was right across from the DTA turnaround. I said, well, this is God. I can get off the bus and go over and get in my bus. How nice. God is good. He's taking care of this boy. Hi, doggy. Hello, Ann. It's always good to see sweet Ann in the room. God, hello, Click. Yes, it is. Well, this stuff can hike right out of here. It's supposed to be 65 tomorrow. I don't even know well, I think they said 52 will be the high today. I'm like, how? It's windy bad. Yes, Sam. I like awesome people. We have a lot of awesome people in here. Yep. Meanwhile, up in the north, from now till 4th of July, it'll be brutal. Was it Time Magazine? Long time ago, did an article on Duluth, Minnesota. 4th of July, there was ice broken lake ice floating around in Lake Superior in July, 4th of July. And people are shooting off fireworks in the rest of the country. The ice sheet is breaking up on Superior. That just blows me away. I used to love it up there. Yesterday, I took a floor jack, took one of the pallet containers. We generate a lot of trash. We get shipping and receiving, and we take the box, I break them down, and I had to weight stuff down and pull the pallet jack out to the dumpster. And man, that wind was whipping. I said, man, this feels like back home. Definitely cold. And it actually felt good. People were complaining how cold it was. My coworkers coming in with the face masks. I'm going to say something I've noticed. The black people do not like this cold weather. You don't hear the boom boom. You don't hear all the tearing around. I hate to say it, but cold weather's a deterrent to stupid behavior. And I was working so hard yesterday, I didn't even feel it. I said, I'm good. I said, I'm hopping around so much. I'm not even breaking a sweat, but I'm not shivering either. This is good. They do. I'm good. I wear gloves all day because I'm always pulling stuff, and I would tear up my hands if I didn't wear gloves. I noticed it's still warm in the warehouse. It's so weird. See, the cement has heated up all summer and is still generating heat. Hello, the deal. You know, Texas, a lot of people like it. Jamie, I never lived down there. Warehouse. I'm in shipping. I pull truck parts and pack run forklifts. Colette, I actually don't have it on. Furnace kicked on yesterday. Been off for a couple days because it was so warm. Even though I'm shirtless underneath this thing is comfortable. Hey, Franny, how are you? So, I think it's awesome that we have a community here. Actual regulars that come in. I don't take that for granted. Thank you to all of you. It thrills me that we all have community, that we enjoy each other. Oh, it's hot in the summer down here, doggy. Miserably sweltering, dripping wet. So I laid in bed last night, and I will tell you, I got 5 months of reprieve. That's it. From now through April, the first part of May, will be pretty decent weather. We'll have those cold dips here and there, but last February, was it February or March, we got snow. Rare down here. And if the weather was like this, not today, but we'll have some 70-degree days. We'll even get up to 80. When I had Christmas break, I put a window in the back room. The first week of Christmas break got down to 11 degrees. I'm like, man, I can't open up that wall when it's that cold. And the next week it was back up to the 80s. And I'm like, well, I'll be ding-danged. I went in the room and I actually didn't put the sheetrock on that wall. And I did my measurements, cut open some studs, got everything prepped, framed it all off, and then cut out the siding. And I slid the window right in. And it was nice because that window had the foam stripping all around it. And I just, nice and tight. Then I proceeded to secure it, did the outside trim and the caulking, and I was ready for weather. And I did a quick paint job on the trim. I have a plan to stuff. You can't leave wood exposed out here at all. Somebody a while ago built a shed in their backyard. Didn't stain or paint the plywood. The thing is rotting. The eaves are crumbling. Not a lot of common sense down here. A coat of paint on wood down here goes a long dang way in protectiveness. I did Pride in the Name of Love by U2. That is one of my favorites. And maybe Jamie can help me out. Was that videoed in Ireland? That the video footage looks like Belfast or possibly UK? Hi, Ellie. We were talking about you the other day. Good to see you. I wondered where you've been. And yes, we missed you. You just got home. You out and about today? Working hard for the money, so hard for the money. She works hard for the money, and you better treat her right. Well, come on, Colette. Come on over here and let's do it. Let's dance. Teach me how to do ballroom dancing. I'm good at freestyle. What I call the discipline dance is not so easy for me. I'm not a good line dancer. I'm not very coordinated. Oh, Colette, that's awesome. That would be awesome. U2, like a lot of groups, when they started out, were legendary. Then you get into 2000s. It just wasn't the same. Sunday Bloody Sunday, New Year's Day, Pride, heavy hitters, out of the park pieces. Coldplay with Clocks was good. And pretty much after that, kind of lost interest. Well, thank you, Mazzy. I like the name Mazzy. Mazzy Star, which is Hope Sandoval. I always thought she was a cute thing. She is my age. She faded away, just like the song, Fade Into You. She had a melancholy coolness about her music. It's very thought-provoking. And yes, she never liked to wear a bra, which I enjoyed. but she was interesting. She was unique. What happens to these people? What happens to them? They just fade away. And I thought her music was good. Into Dust by Mazzy Star. Absolutely beautiful piece of music. Yeah, they just kind of, it's almost like, it's like a society. You achieve greatness, but then eventually you plateau and then you kind of go down the other side. And a lot of bands that were successful, they kind of recycle themselves again and again. And then it's like, do you notice the sameness to the music? It's just kind of that guitar and the drums are coming. All's quiet on New Year's Day. I mean, that just grabbed you. One man come in the name of love. One man come and go. One man come he to justify. One man to overthrow. In the name of love. What more in the name of love? Good stuff. Of course, everybody said U2 was quite political. Mitch Bono's out there. I know he had something to do with trying to stop AIDS in Africa or something, but oh yeah, you see that? About that from a little girl at the flea market who tugged at my pants when I was walking by. Excuse me, could you buy something from me? Nobody's buying and I need to make some money. Dollies. Thinking, what am I going to do with it? I saw the troll. I said, I'll buy this. How much? $1? You always need to support your young entrepreneurs, folks. We need to encourage them to get a job when they get out there. Dust, it's another bag of naked. This stuff is so good. It's got little chocolate pieces in it that are the bomb. Granola. Mazzy, where are you from? Exactly, Colette. Speaking of passion, it's like a shooting star, lights up the heavens and then poof. The term I've heard that I love to use is a meteoric rise. But even a meteor burns out. Texas. I'm in Georgia. Good old Georgia. Neeks, I was just going to say, where is Neeks? And there you are. It was like, I think it, and she is. Welcome in, Neeks. Neeks is from South Africa, folks. We've got Australia, we've got Scotland, we've got UK, Australia, and New Zealand represented in the room this morning. Let's hear it for all our or near British descendants. I don't care what anybody says. I know I wasn't born in Europe, but I have pride in the original UK and Scotland and Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, because they're part of us. They're part of us. I know we were called the colonizers and damn Yankees, but you know what? Deep underneath, we all kind of had a mutual respect for each other. And in today's world, we need that more and more. Dust, you're in the Philippines. I have been to Iloilo, Oton, Miagao, Antique, Manila, Valenzuela City. I love the Philippines and always will. Scottish and German. That is an interesting combo. Can you imagine a polka with bagpipes? Now that would be a combo. That oompa, oompa, and the bagpipes. I'd like to see what they would do with a mashup of that. That's right. Where's the Canadians? That's right. You cannot forget about our friendly, quiet neighbor to the north. Absolutely, Dust. Long live the Philippines. I said a long time ago, two countries, if they were at war and they needed volunteers and they were really pressed in, Israel and the Philippines, I'm going. I'm old. But if I'm going to die, at least I'll die for a legitimate cause. Oompa Loompa Scots. Never thought of it like Frosty. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Willy Wonka. Franny, you are interesting as well. Franny is a hardworking woman in a cold and rugged Maine. And that's awesome. What's that, doggy? Do I like black? Some. It's like people. There's buttholes in every race. My neighbor's black. He's a very kind man. He's an awesome neighbor. I just tell anybody I'm not racist at all, but I'm prejudiced against jerks. And they come in all packages. Augusta Gloop. What is Gloop? What is Gloop, Colette? Hee hee. Ha ha, hee hee. They're coming to take me away. Michael, why are you wearing that? Because I can. And I like it. It looks good on me. I can't say medieval, but it's got a ring of Gothic, medieval, Viking. I don't know. It's just got a slight touch of those things. I am 59. Trump is imperfect, but he is better than Kamala Harris. I fear to God what would have happened if she'd have got elected. I don't respect Kamala. She just laughed all the time, and she just doesn't have it. She doesn't have leadership skills at all. I'm going to be honest. I'm not a chauvinist, but I'm not for women being president. But Kamala would be a disaster. I don't want her on the stage with problem people like Putin and Xi Jinping. Frosty's over there, Lul. I think Trump is flawed, but he does take decisive leadership stances that I like on illegals. You look at Schumer, he's keeping the shutdown going, and Democrats are starting to get pissed at him. He wants to give illegals health care and stuff. Man, does anybody look at our damn debt? Does anybody even give a rat's patootie about that? You cannot have strength if you're grossly in debt and you're printing money, which devalues our currency. And they're already talking about the world wants to get off the American dollar. And America better watch its butt, because if that happens, that's going to deep six us. No, TR, I disagree with that. And I'll tell you why. I'm not middle class. I own my home. I bought a home in the hood in Augusta. It's 53% black here. My neighborhood is mostly black. Come take a drive with me down here. Ride with me in my truck, and I'll show you neighborhoods with tarps over the roof. But they got a Crown Vic with 3-foot high rims and a stereo worth more than the car. Their house is falling apart, yards full of trash. The priorities of some of the people are wrong. A lot of these people are anti-Trumpers. They call into work, they show up late, they fook around, and then they wonder why they get fired. And now what's happening is nobody wants to fire them because they'll be accused of being racist. And it's like, my gosh, you know, the government doesn't owe anybody anything. But my paycheck, my cost of living under Biden and the Democrats, every time the Democrats are in power, my taxes go up, the cost of my groceries, the cost of gas, the cost of my utilities. It's ridiculous. I don't know how to do that, Tiara. I'm still trying to figure it out, and I would, as long as it doesn't turn into Jerry Springer. I'd be more than happy. I'm okay with talking to people that don't believe just like me. But I don't know how to do it. I don't think I can do it while it's rolling. I have to do that before. And I don't know how to do it. And I tell the truth too, and it's not popular with the Democrats. Out of the parties, and the Republicans have their flaws, Mitch McConnell and them old turtles need to get out. Dustin, what's not a good look for me? And same, Franny. I didn't get in debt to buy this place, but I didn't pay a lot for this place. This house was one step away from a bulldozer. I had to work my butt off in here, tear open every wall, new roof, new windows. There were rats that did major damage in here. Can I tell you something? I still get the mail of the numerous people who lived in this house. The back room had a closet, not on the inside. You couldn't access it from the room. You had to go out to the back of the property. Half the door was missing, broken, but it was full of stuff. I pulled out bags of women's clothing, family pictures, black women, $300 hairdos, nails, heels. And I saw names and I'm like, oh my gosh, these are all the people who lived in this place and rented it. Their housekeeping was atrocious. Beautiful African clothing, stilettos, portraits, cleavage. I mean, what is it with people that don't take care of their stuff? But she can go get a hair done, and she left all that behind just to sit out in the elements. The wind and the rain coming in there, soaking everything. Crazy. It's a different mindset. I work hard for what little I got. I take care of what I have. No, I don't pay rent. I paid rent for years, though. Rent today is ridiculous. It's cheaper for me to own my house than it is to pay rent. Dustin, I'm 59. I've more traveled than you are. I've lived in Hong Kong. I pay attention to the culture and the community around me. A lot of things are said about my race that are untrue. A lot of blame is being laid at our feet for something that happened 100 plus years ago. It's time for people to grow up, buck up, and take accountability for their bullshit. And they're not doing it. $1,500 a month is too much damn money for rent. Used to be that rent should only be 1/3 of your monthly pay. Now it's over half or more for some people. That's crazy. Dustin, I know not everybody's going to agree with me, but I do not believe I'm wrong. Hello, Deuce. How are you? And thank you for the feedback. I'm not going to apologize for voting for Trump. I saw what Biden did in 4 years. And I don't even want to talk about him. He was a fail. And that's why he lost. Even Democrats said, man, we're done, and voted for Trump. I'm going to be honest. Donald Trump is not swag persona. He's not. He is a no bullshit man. Kind of crusty. Sometimes he says things and I'm like, oh boy. Yikes. But I'd rather have him leading. Do you see Putin or Kim Jong-un or anybody popping off at him? Nope. You know, I thought it was interesting. Trump visited Kim Jong-un. The Democrats criticized the hell out of that, by the way. Did you notice after he visited him in North Korea that there were no more threats from Rocket Man? There was respect. Kamala Harris would get us into a war. In fact, the Democrats were the ones that were feeding us the lie that we need to get all into the Ukraine. Funny, when Trump was in office, we were not at anybody's throats. As soon as Biden and them get in there, oh, now we're all caught up in the Ukraine. Blacks have a saying that I like, stay in your lane. We had no business getting involved in the Ukraine. That's a dispute between Russia and the Ukraine because Russia claims that that is their real estate down there. You know, people come over here and say, we stole the land. Well, according to Russia, they owned an empire that was huge. I think the U.S. should stay out of that. And what has the Ukraine done for the United States? Can somebody please tell me? We pump all this money, and the Democrats really cared, right? Especially when Irene is riding a city bus in Charleston, North Carolina, and a black guy just stabs her for no reason. Democrats really got behind that, didn't they? Man, if you want to talk about the Democrats, I'll talk about it all day long. They're hypocrites and they're liars. They promote racism and violence and spikes in crime. And they are stealing our money to fund their sorry butts. I cannot stand the Democrat left. They're destructive, 100% destructive. Hillary Clinton is a clown show. She had Vince Foster and others killed. Her and her husband are corrupt as all get out. The Clinton Foundation, Whitewater. Two teen boys were bashed open in the head in Arkansas. They had apparently stumbled onto one of Bill Clinton's warehouse in the woods crack cocaine drop. And the authorities say that the kids died by being run over by a train. They were not run over by a train. There's a lot of stuff out there, folks. Bill Clinton was on crack while being the governor of Arkansas. I find it interesting that the Democrats talk about justice and no one is above the law. Oh, except Nancy Pelosi, the Clintons, the Obamas, and Biden. Do you see where he places his hands on the little girl? Have you seen that on national TV? Sniffing her hair, hands here. I mean, feeling what, 6, 7-year-old girl up on live TV, and nobody's going, "What the hell you doing?" I know some pretty women in my chat that I wouldn't mind running my hands under their shirt, but kids, you can't maintain decorum on national TV, and the Democrats aren't saying a word about it. Let me stand behind a girl with my hands right here and watch the fur fly. We know that there's a two-tier justice system. Democrats can break all the laws that they voted in, while any of us even looks at them the wrong way. Look at what AOC said. Anybody that voted for Trump, we should make a list, baby, and deny them employment. Wow, that sounds like such a constitutional idea. What a clown. The only thing AOC's got going for is her tits. That's it. She has more density in these than she does here. Go back to bartending, honey. You're not qualified. But in this lovely country, we allow voters that cannot drive their car, operate a turn signal, or think intelligently the right to vote. We need to have a sight test for anybody before they can be allowed to vote. Most would fail it. You're not going to hear stuff like this anywhere else. Stay tuned to this YouTube because you're going to get it like it needs to be. I'm proud of that fact, and I will not apologize for anything I say regarding the left, ever. The only positive I can say about the Democrats, I pray that they all get saved, born again, and set free by Jesus. But I doubt it's going to happen. Good morning, Jessica. Absolutely, Franny. I supported Candace years ago. I even said she's a good-looking black woman. I wouldn't mind marrying her. I didn't know she was married. Now I'm tired of her. She's an attention getter. She's 100% false regarding Charlie Kirk's death. We all know what happened. She's saying Israel had something to do with it. She's saying Turning Point had something to do with it. I mean, come on. She's smoking crack. She's trying to get attention. I don't have respect. There's a lot of YouTube artists doing that. A lot of people trying to pimp money. Candace Owens is a millionaire, by the way. Just thought I'd throw that in for free. I noticed some stupid thing about America. They all throw their money at rich clowns. They don't want to help people who need it. They throw their money at clowns, making them richer. People complain about tithing in their local country church with an honest, faithful, integrity-acting pastor, but they'll have no problem buying Joel Osteen's book, Your Best Life Now, or Rick Warren's Your Wallet-Driven Purpose, and making these guys millionaire fat cats that live in 20,000 square foot mansions. What is wrong with Americans? I love our country, but we got a lot of sheer stupidity and sheeple walking around believing everything. Funding clowns. Are we having fun yet? I'm not politically correct. I'm not even spiritually correct. I offend a lot of Christians. Christians like to quote to me Deuteronomy 22:5. I said, read the rest of the chapter. Read the rest of the Levitical law. When you had mold in your house, did you follow the prescriptions for how to deal with that? Nope, you didn't. We're not under law, folks. We're under grace. Michael's not transgendering to a woman. I'm proud to be a male, where at least I know I'm free. I don't have a monthly period that gives me agony, and I proudly stand up and pee behind the local backyard tree. I'm proud to be a male. Nothing's going to change anything for me. I wear what I want. I create my own style. If people don't like it, oh well. What do I think about the dude? Joe Biden. No, Joe Biden. Neeks, I was just wondering where you were. Neeks, I need you to put your hands up my shirt and rub my back. I want to feel your warm hands on my skin. Oh my gosh, I need a woman so much. I know, I sound like a desperado. Desperado. I need some lovin'. Give me all your lovin', hugs and kisses too. Beards all the way down to their waist. ZZ Top was definitely one of a kind. Come on, Neeks, come over here and put your lime in my coconut. Hurry back, Franny. Who needs to email? I don't have anybody's email at all. I don't have anybody's email. She's saying something about me. What, doggy? That's right, Jessica. Those beards were a biohazard. Yeah, all the food and spittle that gets stuck in there. I've seen guys with beards and they're eating, and I'll see, it's just a disaster when they're eating stuff like potato salad or tacos and all that crap. It's like gross. Thank you. You like that, Nova? It's actually not a blouse. It's my Helga wear. Helga, where's my breakfast? Dinner? It's breakfast time, Dust. Nope. You can't even have the long hair I had in the Army. No, the Filipinos don't like me. I've always had a soft spot for them. And they've showed interest in me when they thought they could get to here. I'm too outspoken for them. If you look at most Filipinos, they're very chill. I'm not a chill guy. I'm wound up. And if I had to tell a Filipino, you're acting up, they don't like that. I love Filipinos, but on a compatibility level, I've had a few involvements with them, and it doesn't work. It's attraction. There's attraction, but when it comes to the working out day in and day out, it doesn't work. I need a woman who has energy. I need a woman who isn't going to fight me, because I don't want to fight her. I don't want to dominate her. Maybe in bed on occasion, but she can dominate me too. I like kind of that push-pull with a woman, but I don't. I don't want a woman who's going to fight me in my authority. And when a woman loves me and respects me, I'm just going to love her more. But when they want to bow their back up and fight me, you can't put men in a fight or flight predicament. We're made to put our arms of love and protection around her. Don't put us in that. Fight or flight should be somebody trying to do harm to my wife. I'm going to be the man and get the hell away from her. But you don't want your wife to be your own enemy. That's crazy. So everybody wants me to stand up, I see. Better put my pants on. No, I got sweatpants on. It's too cold. I wear my pants. If I wore this in public, I'd have my black jeans on. It's bedtime is what it is. Colette, you crack me up. What time is it over there right now, Colette? I'm trying to figure out the time difference. What time, what day? "19 degrees. Yeah, I think we're around 29, Lawrence. I remember being in Prescott, Arizona on a cold winter day. We were cruising on a Friday night. We drove our trucks on the top of Dairy Queen Hill. We all got out to do the male huddle. Guy said, "Man, it's colder than a witch's tit and a brass bra out here tonight." I never forgot that. Thank you, Jessica and Colette. I like it. And people can go on and, blow their spleen out looking at why Mike's wearing a dress. You know what? It's not a dress to me. It's clothing, and I like the style. I'm sorry. I think it fits me. I think I like the low neckline. I like the colors. I have a little Gothic in me, a little cross between Gothic, Victorian. You go back and look at the founding fathers. Thank you, JJ. I got it at the flea market for $2, Colette. $2. I bought a bunch of clothing for $2 each. And I don't care what society says. Go to the grocery store with me and watch what women show up at the store in. Their pajamas. Their hair in a hair, that what do they call that? The black women wear them, that not a net. It's like a cap. And older black women are condemning that. Why are these young women walking out there with their cap on that they wear in bed? Oh, they talk about that. They said it's disgusting. Remember when we were kids, folks? Mom walked right out the front door to say goodbye when we were walking to school with curlers in her hair. When's the last time you've seen a woman with curlers in her hair? Bonnet. Thank you, Ever. I don't know why I drew a blank on that. I was cruising to Food Lion in Augusta, Georgia, and such a fine sight to see. A slender black woman with a bonnet on, with pot rolling off of her, getting out of her car. She had a hoochie nanny shirt, booty shorts. Get out, drop dead gorgeous. She lifted up her arm. There's a jungle under there. Got the bonnet on. And you can smell the marijuana. I'm like, oh my gosh. There's a good find. Smoke pot and get laid. What a life. And I'm probably funding that as well. People get mad at me for saying that, but it's reality. I work hard for the money, Democrats. So you freeloaders better treat me right. Because I'm funding your sorry butt to sit in the projects. I'm funding the criminal justice system that show up at those projects. You ever watch that show, Cops? That was entertainment. But now I'm living in a town where it's like, you know what? I don't even want to see Cops again. I don't even want to see it because it's reality. It's disgusting. I love that song, though. What you gonna do? Saturday night, cops, cops, more cops, and America's Most Wanted. That was the lineup of many Americans. AMW, that's sad that show went off the air. That actually, John Walsh did a good job. He lost his son and he turned it around for good. And that show netted hardcore criminals. They airs the show and some waitress, I seen that guy. I know him. They turned it in. They need to bring that crap back. That was a productive show because Americans will help. Onesies. Onesies. Onesies are fun if they're naked underneath. Some of them are. Look, I will say something very, very sexual. Black women have the hottest nipples. I know because I see them all the time. They are thick and they stand at attention. I'm like, my gosh, they'll poke my eyes out. That is very arousing. But when you look at the lifestyle of some of them, it's like, no. There was a time in this country where, like Colette says, there's just certain things you didn't do. I remember in the late 80s, early 90s, when they came out with spandex, it didn't take me long to make two assertions about spandex. Obese women shouldn't wear them, and men should never wear them. I don't want to see your balls framed in public or anywhere. Man walking down the lake walk along Lake Superior with his balls neatly framed, or the heavy woman with camel toe showing. You want to say, are you aware? Are you self-aware? Wow. Now, Daisy Dukes, that's a different category. We got indoctrinated into Catherine Bach. She had some nice kahunas. Nice ones. So did Bo Derek. Oh my gosh, she was voluptuous. Dougie, I want to perform free breast examinations. I'd like to open up my own clinic after my job. The clinic is open. Some people shouldn't wear Daisy Dukes. Yeah, I agree. But I was reading about movie stars, Greta Garbo, Jean Harlow. Is it Jean Harlow? She had some lesbian sidebars going on. It's interesting. You study the lives of people that we put up on a pedestal, and you find out they had dark sides to them too. Was it Marlon Brando? I mean, we're going back into the archives. Some of them had some gay things going on, and you never knew that. But when you talk about actresses and you go back, some of them women back in the day were beautiful, naturally beautiful. And today, they're airbrushed, doctored up. And then you see the pictures on the National Enquirer that shows their butt cheeks hanging out in a cellulite. And you're like, oh my gosh, it's. I would not want to be a celeb where they're chasing around trying to get stolen shots and pry into your business. I still to this day believe the paparazzi should have been charged with murder for Princess Di. I feel a sense of sadness for her because she didn't realize she was a pawn. Prince Charles, if I'm thinking that right. What the hell did he see in Camilla? Camilla had nothing on Lady Di. Nothing. Lady Di was everybody's princess. I remember that wedding. We didn't even have cable like we do now, but we had that damn wedding was televised around the world. And I remember the ladies, the relatives were up at Mammoth, and my cousin, the women were all swooning over Princess Di marriage. That was probably the most watched marriage in the history of the world. Lady Di was big in the 80s. She liked Duran Duran. She was the people's princess. And what the paparazzi did to her is nothing short of disgusting. And our media is the same way. Nothing's changed. They dog people, down people, cause people to commit suicide. They can destroy somebody's fame, destroy somebody's fortune. They can elevate clowns to success. It's disgusting what Charles did to her. Camilla looked like a battle axe. Yeah, Franny, it was, I have to say, and even I had respect for Di, and I don't pay attention to royalty. Royalty to me is about as important as a cigarette butt in an ashtray. But Lady Di, she wasn't like the other royalties. She was real. She looked happy. She was a beautiful lady. What was done to her was heartbreaking, both by Charles and the media. Castaway, ma'am. Wilson, are you listening to me? Really, Franny? Yep, Tom Hanks. That was a good movie. Michael could live on an island. I could. I like the idea of running around shirtless and sandals and half dressed all the time. The sea breeze, the simplicity. Ex-Harls. Lady Diana. Two women that are actually have sadder lives in their latter years was Di and Jackie Kennedy. Jackie Kennedy, I don't care what anybody says. Jackie Kennedy was a class act lady. And I'm not a Democrat fan, but Jackie Kennedy looked like a lady, acted like a lady, dressed nicely, cute hair, beautiful face. Her black and white photos are legendary. To me, I don't care what anybody says, she was the most classiest, beautiful first lady ever. I get an atoll, really, doggy? That's all you're going to give me? An island that every time a storm comes, you're underwater? Thanks for the vote of confidence, doggy. If your boat comes to dock on my island, I will stand there and say, do not come. He's a direct descendant from Vlad, really? Jacqueline Kennedy. Can you imagine being the wife that has to see her husband get assassinated? Not that Kennedy was stellar. He was poonging Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe was overrated. Marilyn Monroe was a sex object, but let me tell you something. Jackie Jackie was provocative because of her class, because she was very pretty. And, we all like boobs and cleavage, but Jackie, she's more desirable. Way more desirable. Marilyn Monroe, her story's ridiculous. And America iconicized her, and why? Because she had her tits hanging out all the time. I want to be loved by you. No thanks. No thanks. Welcome back, Dust. I don't know on that one, Jessica. When I was married, went to Cherry Creek Mall, they had a photographic traveling museum recognizing Jacqueline Kennedy. And my wife and I went, I said, look at the pictures of this woman. The photography was just astounding. Jackie's look, the little hats she wore, the style, very feminine. I mean, I'm a grown man. I liked her photos. I wasn't lusting after her. She was just, that is just beautiful photography of a beautiful woman. Did you ever see her acting or talking like Hillary Clinton or Kamala Harris? Let's throw some context in here. Did you ever see her carrying herself like those two clowns? Never. It was unbecoming of a lady in her day. I still respect JFK. The way he handled the Cuban Missile Crisis. The world was on edge. Can you imagine Kamala handling that? That would have been a disaster. Nope, Colette, they do not. They do not. And JFK uttered a quote that needs to be brought out of the archives and shouted from the rooftops today. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. People want a job to give them this and this and this and this, but what are you going to give your job? We complain about our jobs, but you better thank God there's a job. Amazon is just laying off thousands. Did you hear that? I don't know what's going on. They're talking about turning everything into robots. I say we turn the customers into robots too and stop buying from Amazon and shut them down. I don't buy from Amazon because the way they treat the people, they're not interested in making careers. They bring jobs that are crappy and burn people out in weeks. We got to live, man. Don't treat us like modern day slaves. Who could I care? There's nobody I can think of off the top of my head. You know, people want to talk about Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney has nothing on Jackie. The reason guys all slobber all over her is because her cleavage and her tits are pushed up so high, it looks like reverse butt cheeks. And I'm sorry, I don't look at Sweeney and lust. A flat-chested woman with no bra with a face like Jackie is going to rouse me way the hell more than that. I mean, it's crazy. And they go on to Melania's the greatest first lady. No, she is not. Again, Melania's a hottie. I have a question, and let's drop this dime in the room. Do you think that Melania and Trump are really in love? Do you think that Melania is actually attracted to Donald Trump? Or do you think it was because of his money and fame? Ready? Go. Let's see the comments. I voted for Trump. I have no regrets. But what was her motive for going after Trump? Now, I'm not being gay, but I don't think Trump is handsome. He doesn't have physique. Trump has a look that is very standout. No doubt about it. Money and fame, duh. Yeah, Mazzy, that's what I think. T-shirt, put your bong down. Are me and Neek a thing? I like Neek. Nobody's my girlfriend at present. It's hard to have a long distance relationship. Neek is attractive. I haven't actually video called her yet, but I like her persona. Money makes a 1 of 20, sadly, for too many women. See, Jessica gets it. The world is a stage. Isn't that from Shakespeare, Mazzy? Oh, Franny says it's about breeding. Now, there's something I never considered, and that's exactly why Charles chose Camilla. He chose D or die for the kid. Camilla couldn't have kids. The conspiracy that Trump is Elvis? Really? I missed that one. Yes, Colette. Trump was handsome back in the day. Yeah, and Trump, we got to remember that. Forgive me. Thank you for bringing that up, Lawrence. Trump is going to treat his darling different than John Q. Public. I mean, who knows? When the lights and the cameras are off, he might sing like Andrea Bocelli. Time to say goodbye. Oh, I've said that too, US. I am not a fan of Elon. Elon, the name is strange. Elon Musk. It almost sounds like a men's cologne. Elon Musk. I wouldn't buy it. He's a smart man. He's smarter than me on some levels. And I say some because he doesn't seem to have spiritual life. And that's the difference. I'm not impressed with Bill Gates. I'm not impressed with Elon Musk because you're going to inherit the whole world and forfeit your soul. You don't have a relationship with Jesus Christ. If you don't know that book, if you don't have the Holy Spirit in you, what's the point? You live your life, you buy your cars, you invent this, you amass amount of money. Waste of time. Sell your soul to the devil for money. Man, it's hard to shut this zip lock. There we go. Doesn't line up all the time. Franny, where are most of us on the IQ chart? What's the highest IQ? Neeks, are you still in the house? Hello, B. But would I date Neeks if we were near? Absolutely. Absolutely. Just the fact that Neeks can listen to the stuff I talk about and not get offended, that's massive. Just the fact any of the ladies in here don't look at me the way some Democrat women do. By the way, the union steward of where I worked called me. Black woman. Votes Democrat. I said, "Do you want to talk to me? I know you heard." She said, "People sent her pictures of my video." I said, "Pictures?" I said, "Did you hear my video?" I said, "I got it. I still have it on my phone." She goes, "No, I heard people say this or that." I said, "I'm surprised you don't hate me." Michael, you've never done anything to me. I know you. We've had many talks. So I wrongly believed every black person was going to be against me based on what some wrong-headed people said in the offices. And I had to kind of realize, no, Michael, there's black people that think for themselves too. They know what racism looks like, and they know you're not racist. And if she'd have thought you're racist, she would not have reached out and called you at all. Because of what I went through as a kid, I tend to think automatically they're against me. Everybody's against me. That's just a built-in given. So even at 59, I have to discipline myself to say, let it ride and just watch before you go, I'm guilty. New York is fooped. Yeah, it is. A communist Muslim. What a great package. That's like getting a value jet flight to the most remote island in the world, and you only got one little teeny hour-long window out of the whole year to land there in the right conditions. Yeah, you're probably not going to make it. I was at a Promise Keepers event at Mile High Stadium in Denver many years ago, and they told people, do not fly those big balsa planes. If they go down on the field, you will not be able to get it back. And the people didn't listen. They threw those, 3-foot planes from the stands, and they were flying. I said, look at all the planes. And some of them just glided so nice and landed in the middle of the field. Somebody threw one from above us, and it went, and some guy with a southern accent said, that must have been a value jet. I said, oh my gosh. Does the First Lady love Trump? We were talking about that, Doc. Is there a relationship? Because I'm going to be honest, women like her, you think Melania would have ever looked at me? Never. How about Vance's India wife? Would she have given me the time of day? In fact, to be honest, I don't know any First Lady that would have given me the time of the day. One, because I'm not political. I talk about politics, but I don't have... They're not going to hang out with a guy like me. I'm going to be seen as Jack on the Titanic in that kind of society. A ruffian, steerage, an immigrant. Somebody came in here and called me an immigrant one day. I'm like, an immigrant? That's funny. Hi, Andy. How are you? Vance wears eyeliner. Are you serious? No, Hugh. I would feel very out of place. It's a disgusting amount of money. I love that, Colette. Well said. Well, U.S., here's the problem. It needs to happen. The Democrats need a classroom textbook example of what it means to vote stupid. I already heard last night millionaires and people are pulling out. That's going to affect his tax base because people like to rip on the millionaires, but they do pay taxes. They tax the hell out of them in New York. I'm a mixed breed mutt. Well, so am I, technically. Neeks, are you here? Look at whose picks, Mazzy. Yes, and I've said that. We are a caste system in the U.S. People can say we're not. Yes, we are. Will you see people making 100K a year hanging out with Michael? Never. Would a woman who makes 100K go on a date with me? No. Why? They just won't. Blue collar gets along with blue collar. White collar gets along with white collar. Never the twain shall meet. Okay? People talk about India being a caste system. So are we. They showed a picture of Bill Gates standing outside of Starbucks waiting for his frappe latte clappe $8 cappuccino with his khaki pants. But you're not going to see Melania standing in line at McDonald's. You're not going to see Jackie Kennedy standing at Burger King waiting to get a shake. Doggy, do you work for a living? I'm curious, do you have employment at all? Because I always wondered. Really, Doc? How does that work out? What do you do, Doggy? Do you make blow-up dolls? Do you work at a blow-up doll manufacturing facility and you got a free one or discount for being an employer? Carpenter, right on. God bless the real carpenters. Gloria, I think I got your number. The irony and the hypocrisy. I have two American friends, both RNs, both earning 120 a year, doing maybe Colette, because you're an attractive woman. I'm assuming you're attractive. I don't know what you look like, but attractive women are going to be treated different than me. How many men can back that up? Attractive women are going to be treated with more favor than us guys. That's a fact. That's fact. Can I see a raise of hands that agree? People say our society's sexist. Yeah, it is, but not in the way people want to say that. It's sexist that men are treated different versus an attractive woman. What is considered middle class today? That's what I want to know. Well, yeah, if I look like one of Trump's sons, I'd be treated different. Look, if I was in British society, I'd be a nobody, but I would make myself heard. I'd be that ruffian banging on the equipment in the engine room, and people on the decks above go, "What the hell is all that noise down there?" Neeks, I love you. I didn't know you were still hiding in the shadows. I want to meet Neeks. I actually want to meet Colette. I want to meet a few of you ladies. I want to see where your world. That'd be very interesting. $25. Where are you, Guy Armo? Yeah, it is. And the Democrats, they want to create a banana republic without the bananas. Bananas is the only reasonable priced product anymore. That's right, Armo. You told me 19. What? No. Let me see. Oh, 26. They said it was going to be 29. I got colder. Was it something that you said? Calling Gloria. Mazzy, are you foxy? What did he just say? Mike's World Tour. That would be awesome, though. Do you look like Mazzy Star? What did Guy Armo say? He said Augusta. He does live in Augusta. He said that last time. What did I miss? Donita, I'm sorry I missed you. I have to go back to read what people said. I'm sorry. I'm a guy. Mazzy was hot. That voice was hot. She had a melancholy. I don't think I get along with her because I can tell by her music she definitely has moodiness about her, but her moodiness makes her music incredibly beautiful. I don't do well with consistently moody women. It doesn't work because you never know if did I do something that you're being. I don't like that. I liked her. Yeah, Guillermo, I'm trying to figure it out. Doggy, what did Guillermo say that was creepy? I'm lost, dude. Oh, you saw Augusta and thought he was trolling. No, he actually lives here. I haven't met him. Hi, Brenda. How are you? Fade into you. That guy that was in her band, I think they were dating each other for a while. They had a video on her. She just kind of literally faded off. Don't even know what she's doing. Some people are like that. They come into the limelight and then they disappear. I think it's strange you never knew. Yeah, her stuff was soulful. It is, Mazzy. Her music grabbed me, and I didn't hear it when it came out. She is the same age as me. Brooke Shields is the same age as me. Well, Guillermo's saying it's 26, so it got colder than the projections. That's a bit chilly for November. They said it was going to be a cold and dry winter, though. And Nikki was telling me last night, Farmer's Almanac is going to go away. Kind of shocked. That's iconic as JCPenney and Sears. That's iconic as International Tractors. Another icon is going to bite the dust. And whether you agreed with Farmer's Almanac or not, it did have a lot of earthly wisdom in it. A cool little thing. Rest in peace. I get choked up when something good disappears because it harkens back to better things. I don't like this new, got to change everything and get rid of anything that had any decency to it. Roosters, shoot. When I went to the Philippines, the roosters are always, and I learned they don't just do it at sunup. They do it. They are, oh my gosh. What's his name? Lionel Richie. Was it Lionel? Or who's the guy that's blind? Stevie Wonder. All night long. All night. There's a space of 2 hours where they finally shut up. I know, because I stayed 2 weeks in Valenzuela City, in Pinturan. I said to Gloria, I woke up at 2 a.m. I said, wow, the roosters finally shut up. She goes, what you mean? I said, we were taught that they crow at sunup. She goes, oh no. And they all have roosters and dogs, and the cats just run wild. The song that went through my mind in 2018 when I was there was The Year of the Cat. Oh my gosh, that song was jammed on a 1-track cassette my entire 2 weeks. Cats everywhere. We'd be eating dinner. We were one of the few 2-story houses in the village. Them cats would run along them tin roofs, jump up in the windowsill. We're eating fish and chicken, and they're at the table, at the foot of the table, rubbing against our legs, waiting for free handouts. Oh my gosh, they don't buy cat food for the cats. Drop the fish bones, cat takes the fish, the other one comes up and hissing at each other. I saw one catch a rat. That was beautiful. I was standing in the front door, looking across a narrow sidewalk in the pool table room with the wrought iron, open to the elements but sheltered under the roof and eaves. And I see this rat come running down the path and go in there, and I see the cat. I said, oh, get it, cat. And I just stood there quiet and watched the cat slinked up in there. The rat hid behind something. The rat ran out. The cat went, bit that thing. And I said, good kitty. Gloria said, yeah, we make our cats work for food, not like you in America. I said, no, they should. I said, they got them on damn cuisine diets in America. I said, the cats are fed better than the Filipinos. Rats everywhere. They were not in the house. They could get in. They don't have a door like our door. It's a wrought iron bar that they can lock and shut. Nobody's going to get in. Nobody. You'd have to have a welder's torch to get in. You can see through it. The air comes in and out. So I got to hear the sound of the rain. And boy, when it rains in the Philippines, it's like somebody turned on a fire hydrant. That tin roof. Oh my gosh. Is that going to come in? But we were dry. I love the rain in the Philippines. It just water falls off the roof. The big banana trees out back with leaves this wide and 10 feet long. I'm like, this place is freaking cool. And one day I had the whole family laughing their butt off. I was downstairs with my sandal, whacking it, because when it rained, it starts pooling outside and the cockroaches come running into the buildings to get out of the water. And I was snapping at all of them. Louis said, we need to keep Michael here. He good pest control. I love the Philippines. I love the rawness of the culture. And yes, the beauty of the women. Filipinos dress very cute. They don't buy dress barn clothes. Praise God. Hi, Donita. Shoot, I'm saying that. This could be a dress barn dress. Who knows? But it looks good on me. Hi, Bradley. I'm all right. How are you? B, I will always love the Philippines and the Philippine food. My trip there in 2018 will always be in my mind. It was good. The family was very kind to me. B, you're a good looking woman too. You're a looker. I would look at you. You're attractive. And I mean that. Filipinos age very well. It is, Colette, and I thought about that because I'm not working. But if I had to work and get up early, all that noise. Oh my gosh, they had a curfew 10, the music's playing, you hear the motorbikes, and a lot of that stuff don't have good exhaust on it. I remember we were riding jeepneys in Metro Manila, and that stinky exhaust hangs right about here. You're sitting in the jeepney, and some of the ladies wear masks, not because of COVID or anything, but because of the pollution is thick. I mean, I'm like, wow, it really stinks down here. Yeah, B, it's fresher air in the province. I love the Philippine food and the culture very much. And I love the fact that they love 80s music. When I was there, I thought, man, it's almost like stepping back in time. In the evening, everybody's doing karaoke. They got that big old jukebox in their house. And I'm like, man, they're singing the stuff I grew up on. That is so cool. And their own. I love a lot of Filipino music. It's very sweet. Wish, take me by the hand and wish. Donna Cruz. Sheila Barrios. Aegis. Luha. La da 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 la da 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 na 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 minihal la na 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 Micah Paul la da da. Forgot the words of all this stuff. I love it. B, you're musical. Musical. B, you women are beautiful. Pretty bodies, pretty hair, pretty faces. Filipino women are a turn on to me. They're cute. But I like the I like the simple life down there. Willie Wink sing. Bakit ka pa nakita? Bakit pa nakilala kung ang puso ko ay iwan mo lang at sasaktan? Kung siya'y higit sa aking naroon man ang padaramdam ito ay aking kakayanin. Para di ko yata kaya. How do you like that, B? From memory. No si balasi, sino ba sila? Love that one of my favorites. Be shocked. I know a little Tagalog. The music was easy to catch me. It was easy to catch me. Jessica, you got confidence. Look at your face picture. You should be screaming confidence. Look at that face. You're beautiful. Thank you, Donita. Hello, fat bong Shaggy. How are you? It wasn't me. It was Shaggy. Shaggy did it. bumping on the bathroom floor. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. But maybe it was. Get those pretty ladies and I'll be bonking. Sorry, just saying. I need a girlfriend. How do you know that they're not fake pics, especially with all these bots? I asked Jessica if that's her picture. She said, yeah. So I trust her. Hot cocoa and a blunt. What a combo, Fat. Pot and cocoa. I'm going to sing a reggae song. Pot and the cocoa and some banana. I like pot with my cocoa in the morning. Pot and cocoa? Yeah, man. Pot and cocoa. I was going to clean my room until I got high. I was going to pick up the broom instead I got high. I screwed up my whole life, and I know why. Why, man? Because I was high. Because I was high. Because I got high. Donita's laughing. I told you. We can be serious. I can fire up the turbos, but we can have fun too. We got to. It's all about balance. I like all the people to see my video shorts and think I'm mentally ill. That's awesome. I have problems, but I know I'm not mentally ill. Different, strange, but mentally ill. This is working. It really is. Half and half and hazelnut coffee. Hazelnut would probably smell good. I love the smell of coffee grounds, the real stuff. When I was doing the caretaking of the property in Colorado, Ann would have me go to the store when she was having a harder time getting out and about. Ann would always have me pick stuff at the store that the guy in the store that owns it doesn't even heard of. He'd go, what is that? I said, she says she gets it here. We'd be looking and he'd finally find it. One of his workers say, yeah, I just stocked that the other day. See, girls aren't the only ones who can wear skimpy tops. Come on over, Colette. We'll get in skimpy tops and try on clothing together. That would be fun. Provocative. I love provocative photography. And it's not always sexual. Sometimes it's just beautiful. Women can do that. Men cannot. I mean, you can see men in provocative photography, but not really. It's rare. I'm just different. For somebody who grew up with all the stuff I grew up with, I'm doing okay. Oh, is it cold in the kitchen? Georgia throws out all this heat and then they do a bipolar change. Now that's just messed up, folks. I was going to clean my room instead I got high. Here we go. You know what? Really, Fat? You'd be walking around with your jewels hanging out. Now that I would not do. That is where I'll draw the line for you and me. It snowed here was it February? I have pictures. Tina was in the yard, made a little snowman on the upside down burn barrel. It was so cute. She was acting like a kid. I'm so used to snow that it was just like, wow, okay. She was walking in the yard, making trails in it and everything. I said, you really are having fun, aren't you? She goes, I just don't see it. Hello, inside. I couldn't wear a kilt. But let's be honest. Nobody says anything about that. Society doesn't judge that the way they judge me. I find that fascinating. Why did I pull this out of my room? This belongs in my room. I screwed up my whole life, and I know why. Why, man? Because I got freaking high. And I don't even get high. I get high off simple things. Good music, an orgasm that reaches all the way to my soles of my feet. Orgasms are grossly underestimated. It helps reduce stress. There's actually videos by MDs, men and women, saying that masturbation reduces the risk of prostate cancer in men. Interesting. So being too uptight about sex can cause people to get sick. Just remember that. People get so uptight over sex. You know, that this thing's starting to finally outlive its usefulness. Maybe this has been a good pan too. I remember those Teflon coated pans. They had a lifetime guarantee until the Teflon started scratching off and the company went out of business. Fat. Well, he said it, that's it. That stuff is nasty. I don't use Teflon. This one has been a good one. It's actually, it's weird. It's copper colored, but it's not copper. It's an aluminum pan. They say that aluminum causes, what is that called? Alzheimer's. That's why I do jigsaw puzzles and use my brain. Changing jobs. I mean, sometimes getting out of a rut and changing and forcing yourself to change is good for the brain. I've got a small cast iron. I got one. I haven't used it in a while. Where is it? It's this is a heavy one. You can clock somebody real good with this. And I got a spot of rust in there. I need to clean this up, but they say you never use soap on this. Never use soap. I need to use this Brillo pad and sand that rust out of there. Yeah, it does. They talk about curing it. Curing the pot, which is interesting. What is this? How did I buy? Oh, that's just a picture. I'm like, I didn't buy strawberries or raspberry oatmeal. It's just a serving suggestion. Ooh, don't get caught on the counter with your dress, Michael. I wish I could work in an industry where I could model and do fashion and just have fun. I think it'd be fun. Before I age out and I'm no longer have any attractiveness. And that will come soon. It will definitely come soon. Once the aging process starts, it's over, baby. It's already beginning. Wrinkled up old man. When your face starts to look like your scrotum. How's that? By the way, nonstick is a lie. I think B's attractive. I wouldn't mind seeing her in a hot top. She's not ugly. Of course, I wouldn't mind seeing any of these women in here today in a hot top. I'm a flirt, and I'm proud. I'm single, and I can. Aging sucks. We all want to be forever young, like Alphaville. I want to be forever young. I want to be forever young. Do you really want to live forever? Oh, I don't miss being a teen. But to go back to my 20s, oh yeah, the roaring 20s, baby. I moved to Duluth in my 20s, became a bus driver in my 20s. Got married to a shitty marriage of 14 years in my 20s. Yeah, that was great times. That part, no. A nice custom, oh, a leather bikini top. That'd be racy. I'll have to wear my chain and we can go to a biker bar and make a debut, Franny. Put on some leather chaps. Yes, Donita. Fat, haven't you seen the bumper sticker? I-O, it's off to work I go. Yep. I was a dumbass all my 20s. That would be a great song. When I was in my 20s, I was just a dumbass. I made dumb decisions and acted like an ass. Here's some donkeys braying in the background. Some dumbass stole our worn out camping chairs. You're a dumbass. You're a dumbass. You're a first class grade ace. Something. That's funny. That song is appropriate on so many levels. You're not even fully in your 20s. Really, Fat? It's all young people smoking pot. We need to analyze that. Y'all checking out a society by getting away on a high. I've always just liked simple. Simple things excite me. I've done enough research on my own self. An orgasm releases endorphins that are powerful. I wish I knew the mechanism to make that happen more. I think that'd be fascinating to sustain that orgasm and let it last for 10 minutes where your body just convulses and that feel good hits every muscle. I've had that. I've had an orgasm so deep, not with a woman, just myself. And it's like, wow, that made the soles of my feet tingle. That's awesome. There's incredible power in that. And I'm sorry that some people live this life on the hamster Olympic treadmill of feeling that everything they do is unholy, unrighteous, and they want to be uptight, and they want to guilt themselves, and they want to convince themselves that, that this is so evil. It's not the way to live. That's bondage. It's not. We have to face the fact we were made for sex. And people say sex is not a need. That is a lie. Why did God tell men it was not good for them to be alone? Is it because they couldn't pick up their drawers and their socks and left them on the floor? No, it had nothing to do with that. There's men that are better housekeepers than women today. I know, because I'm one of them. I'm working on my house still, but you don't see construction debris laying around and sawdust and tools. I do a project, I put everything back in its place, sweep up, dust off, clean up. A woman would love living with me because I wouldn't tear half the house up and have it tarps and mess everywhere. She's like, oh, he's working on the house and it's not even painful. Thank you, Inside, for coming in, and you have a good day. You know what, Jessica? And we don't need them, do we, honey? A good thought. And I've said it on Facebook years ago, fantasy is often better than reality. I hate to say it. Sometimes we get all up about somebody. Women, you do it about a man. We men do it over a woman. And it's like, that's just an illusion. Most of the people we've dated, we never belonged with to begin with, but we were blinded by something momentarily. Because there's lust, which is in me. But even in my state, I can look at a woman and go, yeah, she's cute, but no, that wouldn't work. I've said this. The older I get, you can tell when a woman's self-centered by her face. There's something in the facial features of a woman that tells me she's all about her. It's there. It's etched into her. I used to talk about that in northern Minnesota. A lot of women up there, their faces are etched in granite. The Democrats, the older Democrats with those angry stone faces. I said, man, you can tell they're liberals by their mean face. It's crazy. There's a lot to be said about a countenance. When you're a Christian, the light of God should shine in your countenance. Oh, Marissa, I've tried to do research on that, and it's very hard, but there was something I heard on YouTube. It said Pelosi, politicians, preachers may have been. Adrenochrome is when you, what I've been told, like you take a child, kidnap them, scare the crap out of them, rape them, drive up the fear, and they pull the blood out of them. It does something to the blood, and they're giving that to politicians. That is wickedness of the highest order. They said that they give it to rich people because it does something to them. I don't know if this is true, but I've heard that. It wouldn't surprise me if we found out what politicians and leaders were doing. It'd make our skin curl. If you think we know everything, we don't. They got immunity that we never have. You'll never see a parking ticket on Nancy Pelosi's record, let alone all the other atrocities she's done. How many of those politicians have slept with underage girls and you don't know? How many grown women have molested 13-year-old developing girls and you've never known? How many of these people are screwing the pooch and doing all kinds of things? I'm going to tell you. Yeah, Donita, I heard something a few years ago about adrenochrome. It's very evil. It's very hard to track that stuff down as far as validating that, but I've heard this by quite a few people over the years. You know, when you're messing with the blood of anybody, that's demonic. Mazzy, it is. But remember, Mazzy, remember Adolf Hitler and the brown shirts, the Gestapo, the SS. Read about what they did. We're a little more tame compared to that. The atrocities that Japan committed on Filipino children when they invaded Manila and the Philippines. The Japan were bastards. They were brutal, godless, demonic infested bastards. They used one Filipino and passed around 100 men a night as comfort women. You know, a woman gets raped in this culture and it traumatizes her for life. Can you imagine a woman having to perform, pass from men to men, and 100 men in 24 hours? Dirty, sweaty Japanese men, no care for her, using her to cum dump. We cannot even grasp that. I've read this. In historical. It's evil. What, your girl bouncing? What are you talking about over there, doggy? Marissa, how are you, by the way? You know, there's a family, we don't hear their name mentioned much, but two families that are wicked evil, the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. You want to talk about elites. Now you're getting into some old crusty money, and they've been behind some nefarious, wicked stuff. And I support Israel, but I want to say something. Because people misunderstand me. A lot of Jewish fat cats in America that are corrupt as hell. George Soros is one. Zuckerberg is another. Barbara Walters, who's now deceased, was Jewish. And they're all on the wrong side of the fence, eternally speaking. That's good, Marissa. Glad to hear it. There was a Marissa interested in me once in Denver. Mexican gal, she was young, quite a bit young, and she had a thing for me. She had a big pot leaf on her arm, which I didn't like. She wanted to date me. She was cute, but she was not into what I was into. She did pull up her shirt, and I was like, oh my, those are very nice. That's why I don't understand men and rape and sexual aggression. I've learned something. You just play it cool. You just be yourself. Women will voluntarily lift their shirt. You don't even have to ask them. They just do that. They want you to see their boobs. Why do men rape women? People say it's about the power, but why? How does that create an orgasm? What turns me on is when a woman wants me and gives it up willingly. That's very arousing. I could not. That is not in me. That is not in me. I don't understand rapists on any level. Trump, you're not banned. Justin, it doesn't make sense. It's sick. Evil. Your messages are coming through, Trump. I'm reading them. Yeah, sadism is not funny. That's awful. Well, folks, thank you so much. Hey, Mr. Z, welcome from India. India has some cool things about it. I think some Indian women are drop dead gorgeous. Bollywood is fascinating. I love Bollywood music. But I heard the other day that India has a ban on Christian missionaries coming over and trying to preach the gospel, which is disturbing. countries are starting to do that. But yet they come over here and want to push all their stuff on us. Interesting double standard. But India, I personally don't have anything against them. I don't think I'd go over there by myself because there are some aggressive people over there. I felt safe in Hong Kong. Beautiful coal-black skinned woman from Sri Lanka. I knew a guy from India over there, very nice people. I even met Pakistanis that were very kind to me. They were good dancers. They were very good on the dance floor. I mean, all of us, men and women, were like, whoa. They got down with their girl. And they were shocked. I said, where are you from? Pakistan. I said, cool. You? I said, America. Wow, you don't hate me? Why would I hate you? I thought all Americans hate Pakis. I said, no, sir. I take one person at a time. You a dirtbag? I don't want to be around you, and it doesn't matter where you're from. What are you talking about, Trump? Israel didn't remove your comments. Nah, that's not true. I don't get what I want. I'm older. I don't. I don't get what I want. Trust me. I better go, folks. But you all have a good day or evening. Be safe. Be sane. Be sober. Fat, put that bong down. Thanks for coming in. Y'all have a good, awesome day. Till next time.